Peace, how you doing? Hope everyone's alright. Hope everyone's using the force. Man, I want to go deep this morning. I want to talk about racism. I want to talk about race. I want to talk about systemic racism. I want to talk about subtle racism. Because it seems to me part of moving forward is acknowledging the past, right? Now, most of us have just, grown past the past. Like, I don't know anyone who I feel to be truly racist. I definitely know a couple of people who might be. I don't really see them anyway, so it's whatever. But I don't really, most people I know are not fucking racist. They're not white supremacists. In fact, they hate the past. But our society, what we fucking live on, was built on slavery. More to the point, the slavery of black people. Now, if that was just something that had happened then, that would be fucking great. But in 1967, I think it was the last time that the royals colonised, enslaved black people. 1967. Where was it? It was some islands, you know. Innocent people just living their fucking lives. So yes, it basically, I feel that the topic, the situation has been diminished too much. I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and those that do don't go into themselves in depth enough because too much dismissance happens, right? We can't dismiss slavery. We can't dismiss the ill treatment of black people as a whole. Like, if you take time to look at the history of black people, and if you look, like I've done, at laws, at, you know, government movements, at fucking just history, right? It's pretty fucking obvious to me that since we've got records, there's been a force attacking black people. Specifically, over and above the Chinese, over and above the fucking Asian, over and above, and it's normally led by white skin, isn't it? So are we the aliens or are they the aliens? That's what I think. I think one of us is, and I think it's more likely to be us. Us and them, it's us, right? It's all of us. But we got to get to this, you know. Maybe, you know, some people don't know. Some people do know that the only reason I would be called a white man, and that says a black man would be called a black man, right? That is not because you look at them and you go, oh, they've got black skin. Before that legal terminology was created in the 1500s, right, before they did that, we were people, right? You wouldn't separate so harshly on this black and white. You'd be like, oh, but they're African, or, you know, yes, you recognise where you're from. But so we got to realise there have been divisive tools very specifically put in place. Anyway, you know, and that goes not only divisive in race, but divisive then again within culture. Because, you know, there's a lot of black people that believe that, like, the majority of white people are more like white supremacists. They're aware and happy to accept things that they're not aware and happy to accept. You know, so I think there's a lot of miscommunication where not enough white people are talking about racism and how we've been raised in it, how black people specifically were suppressed. Why would we not address this? And it seems to me that, especially when you look through the black community, that this is a fucking issue. So we need to wake the fuck up to deal with that. You know, some black people are going to be like, dude, I'm cool, it's whatever, and that's sweet, because so am I. But for those that aren't, we need to address it. We need to address it. You know, and how are we addressing these things? You know, we got to look inside ourselves anyway. But this is sort of like a wider topic. This isn't like, you're racist, deal with it. Like, you're judgmental, deal with it. That I'm real about. You're judgmental. Whoever you are watching this, you're judgmental, man. I am John Scott. Still have judgment in me that I'm trying to fucking, the negative judgment. you know? Like, so we're all born with base plate, judgment, greed, ego, but it's all been heightened, hasn't it, to an unhealthy level where things like greed and ego and judgment are more prevalent in life. I see more people judging, I see more people doing these negative things than I do doing good things. So think about that. Why does everyone want to be fucking? Because we've been trained that way. No, it's not fucking natural. In our society, it's very fucking rare that we're doing anything that is natural, like in the flow of nature. Fuck no, we're destroying nature. What the fuck do we've been guided into the opposite of natural flow, you know? So we've got this whole psychology that's built off of ignoring the slavery that was used to craft this safe culture we live in, right? So we've got our protection. Really good at protecting, aren't they? They're more just attacking people, aren't they? That's really all these government gangster puppets do, is just do the bidding of the Rothschilds and the other Morgans and the Chases and the fucking bankers and the oil merchants and all the big wigs that don't care about money because it means nothing. They just literally give a fuck about the resources and power over us. Why? It's a good fucking question. I want to know why, because I don't just think it's fucking like this lust for power. Sure, like there's lots of power hungry men around the world that just want to be fucking dickheads, but I digress. Look, race is a serious issue, man. Like, we are not giving it enough fucking thought. This is something I've realised the more I look around the world at other races. White people need to realise what the fuck we're sitting on. You know? Our ancestors were enslaved, right? To go and fight people, to enslave them, to enslave the world. That's basically what happened. So we got enslaved to enslave the slaves, to then us be liberated, right? Because we're no longer barbarians, because we just liberated the barbarians, right? Psychology head fuck people. These are the things that happen to us through school. So it's not a matter of do you believe you're a racist. I believe most of you are not. That's not good enough. It's like being a good person is not good enough. You telling me you're a good person means fuck all unless you're like changing things. You want to like see the problems of the world today, of this society that we're facing that's very fucking real, and you want to do something about it. If you're a good person that just looks after their nearest and dearest, you're not that good, are you? You're pretty selfish. You're pretty limited with your view. And that's what we've been taught to be. So it's not like I'm saying you're a selfish dick by nature. All of my points still come from the fact that we've all been pushed in this direction. It doesn't take a lot to see it. So we need to openly address slavery, right? Because I think once we start addressing and being open on this fact that black people were ripped out of Africa and basically used to create the New World, for sure. You know, America was totally built off slavery, and that's bullshit. So, but so's every culture. And this is the point I would really like to get to, but it's kind of after we've dealt with the black situation, because regardless, no matter what fucking anyone thinks, man, they have had it the worst. I don't like them and us. I don't like they. I don't like grouping people. But fuck, mate, someone's attacking black people, and these people have a lot of power, right? And it wouldn't surprise me if it's the Rothschilds, because the Rothschilds are Jews. Look at how I wish people would do a bit of research themselves. That's what I'd like. I've spent a lot of time gaining information so as I feel the need and then to talk, but I don't know everything, so there's holes in my information, you know. This is why I want people. This is why when like I'll post information, I won't just like give everyone the answers they want, even if I have them. And if I don't, I'll be open and honest enough just to say I don't have the answers. But it's not about that, is it? It's about you getting informed. Not the easy way. I don't give a fuck if you've got to stop watching TV for 2 hours a day. You get informed. You know, it's that, or you're totally accepting on everything this culture stands for and where it's going. You know, there's many things, in my view, we need to address before we can move forward healthily. If we try and just push on forward in our society in this, like, ignore the past mindset of just, oh, it'll all be fine, what's going to happen to all of these people that have been suppressed more than anyone, right? And forced down and ignored and never been given any type of like fucking validation or fucking anything. What do you think will happen? I can tell you what's happening. There's a fucking race war brewing. And if you don't know there's a race war brewing, that's because you haven't been looking and you've been too busy watching the fucking television. There are people that want a fucking race war and they're the ones brewing it. And if we're not all psychologically in line, if we haven't taken a hold of our minds, if we're not fully conscious, we'll just get caught up in it. Or we'll just fucking let it happen. So, I don't want anyone being suppressed anymore. I didn't want it anyway. I just didn't feel strong enough to fight. Now I have more strength. It's on like Donkey Kong. But we white European people need to acknowledge our white privilege and we need to use it. I was watching something called Expeditiously. A lot of you will remember American rapper called T.I., right? And you know, I used to listen to his stuff, but like since my 30s, I'm re-going into myself and making sure that I have to blow my nose. So basically, since like re-establishing my self-progression in my late 20s, early 30s, I don't really listen to like rap and like I listen to rap, it's just more conscious on my own because I'm chatting about shit I want to hear. You know, I don't want to hear about someone's ego and how it flares up. I don't give a shit, man. It's so hollow, it's unreal, and that's what a lot of mainstream music is, right? So, but I was watching Expeditiously with T.I. and I was watching an episode with Alex Jones, because Alex Jones is, you know, full of information, but man, they're getting at him and I think he's lost the plot now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't even say he found God. He probably already had God in his corner, but he's just gone like everything's God, right? And to me it feels fake. It feels like he's just pleading to the Christians to give him his money. So I don't know what he's doing, but he was talking with T.I. and I thought that should be a good conversation. And at the end, T.I. basically offers him the ability to speak on slavery and race wars. He gave him the opportunity to speak on how America was created, right? Alex Jones fucking hid from the question, didn't he? I couldn't believe it. I thought, you fucking dick. You fucking dickhead, what's wrong with you? And that really inspired this, to be honest with you. So anyway, I want this to go on Instagram. Just seen it's about hit 15 minutes. So people, let's take a bit of time out of our days to love ourselves, right? Let's take a bit of time out of our days to get informed, right? And then we can take a bit of time out of our days to make a better future, right? That's what I think. So whatever you do, use the force. Peace.